Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're stepping right into the absolute darkest corners of the human mind to investigate a truly terrifying global phenomenon. We're going to unpack the mystery of the Hat Man. It's this shadowy entity that completely blurs the lines between folklore, sleep science, and modern pharmacology. It's a dark ride for sure, but man, is it a fascinating one.
Let's just dive right into this chilling first-hand account here. It actually comes from a clinical study on sleep paralysis, and it perfectly captures that suffocating dread that literally thousands of people experience in their most vulnerable moments. I mean, just imagine waking up to that.
Which brings us to a really fascinating mystery. Why on earth is our brain projecting this specific, malevolent silhouette in the dark? Think about it. We have people from totally different backgrounds, folks who have never met, all describing the exact same entity, right down to the brim of his hat. So what's going on? Is it cultural, biological, or maybe is it chemical?
Part 1. Meet the Hat Man, the Watcher in the Dark.
Now what's truly terrifying about all this is the incredible consistency of his appearance. People constantly report him towering over them, like anywhere from 6 to 10 feet tall, and he's almost always wearing this distinct, wide-brimmed fedora or top hat, often draped in a long trench coat. But you know, his most defining characteristic actually isn't his outfit at all. It's the suffocating dread he radiates. He doesn't attack. He just stands there, totally solid, demanding your fear. And interestingly enough, in sleep science, this phenomenon actually has a clinical classification. Researchers divide these terrifying experiences into categories. You've got the incubus, which feels like this crushing weight on your chest, and then you have the intruder. As you can see, the Hat Man falls squarely into the intruder category. It's marked by that distinct, absolutely terrifying sensation that a sentient, malicious being has just entered your space.
Part 2. Shadow People versus Hat Man. Skittish versus solid.
So we really need to highlight a crucial difference here. Regular shadow people, they're kind of like two-dimensional cutouts. You catch them out of the corner of your eye, and the second you look directly at them, boom, they vanish. They're skittish, mildly curious observers at best. But the Hat Man? He is deliberate, three-dimensional, and totally unflinching. He doesn't run away when you look at him. He holds his ground, lingering there, and just stares back at you with his palpable, intense malice.
Part 3. The Global Sleep Demon, a Nightmare Throughout History.
Okay, so long before internet creepypastas and urban legends, our ancestors were experiencing this terrifying biological glitch. We know it today as sleep paralysis. See, during REM sleep, our bodies naturally paralyze us so we don't physically act out our dreams. It's a safety feature called REM hatonia. But sometimes you wake up before that paralysis wears off. You are completely conscious, but you're trapped. You can't move a muscle, and your dream imagery just bleeds seamlessly right into your waking environment.
And because of that glitch, this sleep demon is an intrinsic part of global human history. Just look at the variety across different cultures here. Up in Newfoundland, they call it the Old Hag. Over in Thailand, it's the Fiam. But what's truly remarkable to me is the ancient lore from Turkey and Albania. They describe the Karabasan and the Makthi. And these entities are specifically noted for wearing hats. So are brains mapping a hat onto this terrifying presence? Yeah, definitely not a modern internet invention.
Actually, I absolutely love this surprising historical fact. In both Turkish and Albanian folklore, they believe that if you can somehow fight through that paralysis and snatch the hat right off the demon's head, you actually gain power over it. In Albania, stealing its golden fez grants you a wish. And in Turkey, it literally turns the demon into your personal slave. Honestly, it's just such a fascinating psychological coping mechanism built right into the mythology itself.
Part 4. The Benadryl Overdose Link. Chemistry, not curses.
Now we're going to pivot to something very real and very dangerous. This alarming number here, an 87.2% increase. That represents the massive spike in pediatric diphenhydramine overdose cases between 2014 and 2023. Diphenhydramine is the active ingredient in common allergy meds, like Benadryl. Fueled by these awful internet challenges, teenagers have been intentionally taking massive, dangerous doses. And guess what the primary hallucination is that they report during these overdoses? Yep. None other than the Hat Man.
The real danger lies in exactly how this drug works when you take high doses. Diphenhydramine is what's called a potent anticholinergic agent. Basically, it blocks acetylcholine. That's a vital neurotransmitter your brain uses for memory, learning, and, importantly, reality testing. So when you block it with a huge overdose, you are throwing your brain's communication systems into absolute chaos. This induces a severe state of toxicity known as anticholinergic toxidrome.
We really need to draw a hard line here. This is not some colorful, insightful psychedelic trip. The Hat Man, in this specific context, is a symptom of severe neurochemical poisoning. It is absolutely not a harmless high. Deliriants like this create hallucinations that are confusing, totally incoherent, and just intensely frightening. To a delirious brain, that shadowy figure standing in the corner, it doesn't feel like a hallucination. It feels indistinguishably, terrifyingly real.
And the monster isn't just in your mind either. The toxicity is actively attacking your vital organs. Overdosing on these everyday allergy meds can cause life-threatening heart arrhythmias, seizures, hyperthermia, and even rapid muscle breakdown, which is called rhabdomyolysis. It is just an incredibly dangerous state of acute poisoning.
Part 5. Unmasking the brain's shadows, Jung and the amygdala.
So let's break down the anatomy of this hallucination. You see, the human brain is fundamentally a pattern recognition machine. It loves finding shapes. When it gets deprived of normal chemical signals, it starts misinterpreting ambient shadows and visual noise in the room. Desperate to make sense of all that chaos, it fills in the sensory gaps with primal archetypal forms, like, say, a looming human silhouette in a hat. And simultaneously, your amygdala, which is your brain's fear center, dials the terror all the way up to an 11. The result? Your brain interprets its own internal dysfunction as this highly realistic, incredibly malevolent external intrusion.
Which actually brings us to Carl Jung. His psychological theories so perfectly contextualize how we project our own internal darkness right into the corner of our bedrooms. In analytical psychology, the shadow is this unconscious aspect of our personality. It's all the repressed fears, the anxieties, the negative feelings we just really don't want to admit we have.
So, when our conscious mind is paralyzed during sleep or chemically shattered by an overdose, that repressed shadow can quite literally take form before our very eyes. The intense malevolence that we feel radiating from the Hat Man, well, it might actually just be the darkest, most primitive parts of our own psyche staring right back at us.
It's a pretty chilling realization, right? The ultimate boogeyman might just be our own neuroanatomy. I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder the next time you see a shadow stretch across your doorway late at night. If the Hat Man is just a glitch in our chemical wiring, what other ancient monsters are just waiting for the right moment to step out of the shadows of your own mind? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, stay curious.